Hey everybody, it's Deva and Eric, and we're back with a market update for June 2022. As summer is heating up, we are seeing some changes in the market. Let's start off by looking at what's been happening over the past few weeks. Eric, what's going on out there?
Well, let's take a look first at the San Diego monthly snapshot here. And this is looking at April of this year versus May of this year. And the first metric here is looking at new listings. And there were 6.9, which is almost 7% more listings in May than there were in April.
That's a decent bump.
Yep, a little bump in new listings. And pending sales completely flat, which with 7% more listings, that means there's essentially, almost 7% more sitting inventory right now than.
And we've seen more houses sitting on the market longer as we've been out and about in the field too, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Closed sales are only down 2% from April to May, so that's not dramatic. And then median price has completely flattened out from April to May. We were seeing dramatic jumps in median price month over month, and now that is flat.
Has stalled out for now. So
yes,
we'll see where that goes, but flat right now.
We'll see what happens next month. Now if we zoom out and look at the broader picture with new listings, looking at 2020, 2021, and this year, you can see that new listings were gathering steam here in May of 2020. And then May of 2021, we had 2,862 and only 2,441 this May. So even though it feels like there's a lot more inventory out there, there really isn't, because it's down 14.7%, new listings at least from last year. And then year to date, still we have 8.8% less listings so far this year than we had this far in 2021. So it's interesting how the feel of things can differ from the actual data.
We still have some catching up to do with inventory, but definitely buyer activity has been a bit more subdued recently. Would you say so?
I would say so, and I would say that buyers are now having what I call a little bit of swagger again. In other words, a few weeks ago, buyers would just look at whatever was on the market, and now they're being way more selective about what they look at, and way more selective about what they're writing offers on and how much those offers are getting written for. The fever pitch hyper sellers market is no longer with us at this point.
The buyer FOMO has died down. Fear of missing out, for those of you who don't have a teenager to tell you,
tell you what FOMO means. They have almost no fear of missing out because they see more listings coming all the time and they see market times increasing. So this should be a marker for sellers to take note of. And if you're thinking of selling a home this year, you got to get it done. Waiting any longer is not going to be good for you. Okay, so let's move on to closed sales. Closed sales, month over month, we're only off 2%. But if you look at 2021 versus 2022 May, they're down 18.4%. So, new listings were down. New listings were down almost 15%, while closed sales down quite a bit more than that. And then year to date, again, closed sales are down 11.3%, which again is not dramatic, but it is pointing in a direction at this point. We've been watching these numbers for months and watching the pending sales slowly shrinking and watching the rate of increase in median price slowly shrinking. And so all of these are indicating a market shift, market change. So with that, what's the median sales price looking like? This time last year, it was at $860. This past month, $990. The month before that, it was $1 million.
We'd hit $1 million, so we ticked back a bit from that.
Yeah, we came off of the $1 million mark for detached homes just a little bit. That $875,000 number is these two lumped together, attached and detached homes. So still, the price for a median detached home in San Diego County is almost $1 million, right around $1 million. And then year to date, It's 955 where it was 810 year to date last year. So again, these numbers are interesting to look at and certainly increasing, but not really telling us the entire story of the current real estate market. And what I believe is driving the current market.
Oh, you're going to say interest rates?
I would, yes. almost more than anything else right now are these interest rates. Now this is, Freddie Mac looking at the 30-year fixed rate mortgage average in the United States at 5.09% with 0.8 points, 80. Almost 1 point basically to get this 5.09% rate. However, in San Diego County, the average rate is more like 5.6. The conforming loan amount is around $880,000 max, and if you're buying a $1.1 million home, let's say 1.2, you're quickly in jumbo loan territory, and that is driving the pricing up. Lenders have become a little bit more creative about adjustable rate mortgages, and not the kind of really terrible adjustable rate mortgages we saw, all those years ago. But
not the kind that caused our economy to collapse.
No, not those kind. But certainly using the ARM loans to at least lower that initial interest rate to get people into the home. But this is up. It's up 2 points from where it was at the low earlier this year.
The increase seems to have stalled out, so hopefully that continues. And the Consumer Price Index report is coming out this Friday.
Yes.
So the Fed is going to look at that data and likely use it to decide where to go with future interest rate hikes. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see what happens.
Yeah, the Fed chairman has already said, they're really watching the CPI data to see whether or not they need to continue these rate bumps. But we have inflation is a worldwide phenomenon right now, and we hope that it's leveled out in the United States. The U.S. inflation is actually right about the median for the entire world right now. So some countries have got it way worse than we do. However, none of this is good news in terms of, somebody who's looking for their home to appreciate more this year. It's just, at this point, stalled out, and in my opinion, not likely to appreciate much more this year, or return to a very mild appreciation versus the wild appreciation that we've seen. So mild versus wild when it comes to appreciation.
The party may be over.
It may be. I mean, I've been saying it for months. If you've got a home to sell, you've got to get it sold. And we're seeing a lot of sellers that are jumping in right now, as evidenced by the increase in new listings. And when we look at next month's data, I think it's going to be way more telling in terms of the overall direction.
Okay, is that it for today?
That's all I got for today.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, share, or subscribe, and we'll see you next time.